Hey y'all, so I just want to introduce this new topic on this new channel. It's going to be the channel, the White House channel, and it's basically going to break down the White House press conferences with Jen Psaki. I was in my truck listening to two of the press conferences on the way to somewhere, so I went ahead and did the video then, and it was fantastic. So that's what this is going to be about. It also gives you an opportunity to actually comment, because the White House doesn't allow you to comment. So it's going to let you comment. It's going to answer the questions that Jen won't answer. She's going to dance around every single one. So we're going to try and give you a little light on what she's actually saying or not saying. So that's what this is all about. And I'm gonna fine tune it. It's not gonna be in the truck. I'll have better audio, better visual, all that stuff. But I was listening and I couldn't take it anymore. The comments she made about Trump ripping the children from the arms of their parents, and in the same breath saying that the children coming to the borders are unaccompanied without their parents, and it's just like, God, somebody please call her out on this nonsense. That's what we got. Please comment. Please talk to each other. Let it out. Let us know what an idiot this woman is, and the administration, and where they're leading us. And it's just not looking good, guys. So this is more of a humor kind of thing. It's not meant to anger you with what they're doing, the policies, and how they're failing the American people. It's more of, we're laughing at you, and it's, because it's just so out there for us to do that. So enjoy.
Yesterday about immigration and this facility, HHS facility in Carrizo Springs, Texas, for migrant children. And you said it is not kids in cages.
Nope, it's not.
We've seen some photos now of containers. Is there a better description? Is it kids in containers instead of kids in cages? What is the White House's description of this facility?
Let me give a broader description of what's
Circle around.
here. We have a number of unaccompanied minors, children who are coming into the country without their family.
A number of unaccompanied minors coming in without their families. Listen to that. That's very important. Unaccompanied minors coming in without their parents. All right? That's what they're dealing with. All right? Now listen to what she says.
What we are not doing, what the last administration did, was separate those kids, rip them from the arms of their parents at the border. We are not doing that.
You're right. You're not doing that, because they're unaccompanied minors. You just finished saying it. Why isn't anybody calling her out on this? You just said it. Okay, holy and
putting them at risk. We can quickly transfer them from CBP to these HHS-run facilities. That's one option. Or we can put them with families and sponsors without any vetting. There were some problems that process ran into as well. We've chosen the middle option. And these HHS facilities, this is one of them you're referring to, we had to expand and open additional facilities because there was not enough space in the existing facilities, and if we were to abide by COVID protocols. That's the process and the step. This facility in Texas, which has been reopened, has been revamped, there are teachers, there is medical facilities, and our objective is to move.
There are teachers, and there is medical facilities. Facilities. There are medical facilities. You're a paid professional speaker. Learn your grammar, subject, verb agreement.
Your journey back, we are not doing that either. That is also putting them at risk. We can quickly transfer them from CBP to these HHS-run facilities.
Yeah?
That's one option.
Yeah.
Or we can put them with families and sponsors without any vetting.
No vetting?
There were some problems that process ran into as well.
Yeah, can't do that.
We've chosen the middle option. And these HHS facilities, this is one of them you're referring to.
What about? Tell me about
them.
We
had to expand and open additional facilities because there was not enough space in the existing facilities. Well, wonder how much money that costs, because you're giving
California $100 million to build a tunnel. Maybe you could spend, I don't know, $5 million on these poor children. No, can't do that, can you? That makes too much sense. That's too humane. That would be humane, Jen.
And if we were to abide by COVID protocols. That's the process and the step. This facility in Texas, which has been reopened, has been revamped. There are teachers, there is medical facilities, and there is medical facilities. Okay, you're a professional speaker. You get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. It seems like you would understand subject-verb agreement. But you don't, and no one's going to call you. Well, why would they? Okay, let's go on. I just got one more point I want to make about this. Objective is to move these kids quickly from there to vetted, sponsored families, and to places where they can safely be. This is a difficult situation. It's a difficult choice. That's the choice we've made.
Okay. So just one step back from that.
So it's a difficult position they're in. It's a difficult situation. You got to understand, we're just trying to be humane. It's no fault of it's no fault of the U.S. government what's happening here. It's just a difficult thing. But it wasn't difficult for the Trump administration. No, it was a piece of cake. It was a cakewalk for them because we were Monday morning quarterbacking them. So we can talk about what a horrible job they did because they didn't have the same situation we have. They didn't have this, flood of children who came unaccompanied to the border without their parents. No, Trump didn't have that. Trump's kids' problems were all with their parents, with their mother and their father, and they were ripped, quote, ripped from the arms of their parents. Jen, why is it you have the monopoly on difficulty and Trump didn't? Jesus. Let me let you hear that. We got to back up here. Listen to what
this facility in Texas, which has been reopened,
we know
has been revamped.
All right, too much going on here. We know this is a Fox reporter asking their questions because that's the only agency that will do any kind of questioning of this woman.
And to places where they can safely be.
Let's circle back. Peter, let's circle back.
It's a difficult choice. That's the choice.
It's difficult. Once again.
So just one step back from that. We've been talking to people down at the border who say right now DHS and the Border Patrol are using the same kind of facilities now that they did during the Trump administration. There's a facility right now. It's in Donna, Texas instead of McAllen, Texas, but it's tents and chain link fence.
You don't know. Peter, you don't know.
CBP facility before they're transferred to the HHS facility. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, can we latch on to one thing he's saying? And we still have control over CBP, DDP, DBKBP, but we're going to focus on Homeland Security because Biden's not in control of the whole federal government, only Homeland Security. So let me just attack this one little kernel of what you said and show you how stupid you are for saying what you did and not address what your real question is, because I'm a master at that.
The issue would be that just in the last couple days, they had hundreds of kids that they were holding for over 72 hours, which is the legal limit.
Okay, now I'm going to stand up for them on this 72-hour legal limit thing. You need to do away with this 72-hour legal limit. I saw the facility they're in. I used to be an investigator for Child Protective Services. I know foster homes. I know the conditions these people go to, these children go to. You don't want to force a child into a position or a home simply because a clock expired. This is a very nice facility. I saw they had orange juice, apple juice, water. Otherwise they're going to be in 70 miles of desert, dehydration, diarrhea, dying in the desert. It happened. So let's cut them some slack on this 72-hour thing. Let them stay longer. I would rather them stay longer than push them to a home simply because their time ran out, and you got a home that's designed to hold 10 children, and you got 20 children in there because the time ran out. Leave that alone. We got to back off that 72-hour thing. That's ridiculous. The number one concern is the safety of these human beings, right? And the comfort of these human beings. So Don't worry about that 72 hours, people. Y'all need to leave that alone. Both sides of the aisle need to leave that alone. Okay, let's go back, because I'm going back to that same point. Hold on. Yeah, you'll see.
To keep somebody in a temporary facility, so I'm just curious why.
Well, let's be clear, though, because I know you want to be clear with the public about the differences.
So patronizing.
The CBP facilities, which you're right, the objective is to move kids, unaccompanied minors, as quickly as possible, under 72 hours.
Unaccompanied minors, because they were ripped from the arms of their parents? No, because they showed up at the border unaccompanied.
To these HHS fund-sponsored facilities, which is the one where we've been referring to in Texas. They are two different things. There were some delays last week because of weather and because some of these facilities to safely move these kids to did not have power and were not in a place where they had the capacity to take in these kids and do it safely. That is not our objective. That is not our goal.
Fine.
So some, unfortunately, did stay 4 days, 5 days, or longer.
Yeah.
But the objective is to move them as quickly as possible to the HHS-sponsored facilities.
No, the objective needs to be comfort and safety.
From Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who was
funny
about that HHS facility in Carrizo Springs, and said, "This is not okay. Never has been okay. Never will be okay, no matter the administration or party."
Well, I think the difficulty is I haven't seen the full context of the quote or interview of the tweet that she shared.
That was the full context of the tweet she shared. That was the entirety of the tweet. That was it. There's no other context. But she's not going to go up against AOC because she's scared of her. The truth just is never ever in their mouth, is it?
But I would say the difficulty is what I outlined earlier. We have kids coming across the border. It is heartbreaking.
It is.
We all, as human beings, are heartbroken. As parents, as mothers, fathers too. We only have a couple of choices. What we are not doing is dividing these kids and separating from their parents at the border, which is what the last administration did.
No, it isn't. You're lying right now. That's exactly what you just said. They're coming unaccompanied without their parents. It's not apples and oranges, woman. It's not the same thing. And it is heartbreaking. You're right, it is heartbreaking. But you don't have a monopoly on that issue of it being heartbreaking. The Trump administration had the same heartbreaking situation. Someone, please, Que Holienda.
Did, and why President Biden, or then candidate Biden, and then candidate Harris were outspoken at the time about these kids being pulled from their parents. What we are doing is working as quickly
they
as
weren't
possible
pulled from their parents.
These kids into
Lion heifer.
HHS facilities, which have been revamped, which have medical and educational services available, so that we can then transfer them to families. That's what our approach is.
And if there is this big difference, would the administration support, if it can be done safely because of COVID and with privacy concerns for the children in mind, would the administration support letting reporters in and the president to see what the difference is?
I think you'd have to talk to the Department of Homeland Security about that. There are obviously safety protocols about that, privacy concerns, but I certainly encourage you to reach out about that.
What?
Go ahead and back.
Let me get away from you, Peter. Because you hold me to the coals and I just can't. You'll have to talk to someone else about that. I'm the voice of the president. I'm not the voice of the president's people or the president's departments, unless I want to be. You know, if you want to ask me about the Secretary of Treasury, I'll tell you, first woman ever. First woman. Doesn't matter what her qualifications are. It only matters what her gender is. Yeah, first woman. What do you think the Treasury should do regarding putting a monkey on the quarter? We're talking about the monkey who actually went to the moon, the first primate to go to the moon, outer space. Wait, what do you think about that? Well, as you know, President Biden has always been in support of monkeys and coins. He, going back his 700 years in Congress, he's always been part of the monkey coin movement, monkey coinism. And as you know, the Secretary of Treasury is a woman. You in the back. Next. But wait a minute. No, you in the back. Next. I gotta circle back on something. I just want to postscript today's video. So I don't know if you know, but I used to be a police detective, not just a police officer, but a police detective. Interrogations, interviews, big part of that job. So signs of deception are something we study. Human behaviors like scratching your face when you're being deceptive. Those things are signs of deception. She does it over and over. Now, when it's a difficult question or when she's avoiding the answer, her ums go up tenfold. Now, I'm doing another YouTube channel, and it's going to be strictly White House press conferences. And it's going to be an interpretation of what she's saying or what she's not saying. I'm also going to have a counter, and we will have how many ums you had for that press conference. I'll divide the number by how long it was. So we'll say we'll have 2 ums every minute in her press conference. And then eventually, I think at the end of the year, I want to add up how many ums she has and see how much time that took up in her video and say, we just paid this woman $250,000 a year to say for 6 hours, which is probably, in my estimation, what it's going to be, about 6 hours of ums. Crazy. Also, I also want to do a segment on her $20 words, her processes. I want to poke her in the eye every time she says processes instead of processes. She also did one when she was talking about it was a process, or it was a processes for the Treasury Department. It had its own special word, and she said the special word, and then she defined her special word, and instead of using her special word, she used her definition. It was like, why do you even say the word when, first of all, nobody understands what you're saying, and second of all, if you're not going to continue to use the word, why'd you use it to begin with? Cray. So,